Good afternoon, everyone. It's almost afternoon. It's a little bit of morning, but it's a great day in the city of Portsmouth. Now, you all know who can say that better than anybody else, and that's Mayor, the Honorable late Mayor James Holley III. We're here today to honor him. We named this building after him, this apartment complex, and I know he's shining down on heaven today, seeing all of you all here, because this is what he would like to see. A united front, people from all over the city, the state, the federal government are here. We're just proud of you all helping us to get to this point. It took us 4 long years to get this project done. Usually it takes us 2 years at the max to do a project. But with the leadership of the city, state and the federal level, we were able to do that. So we're going to start the program off. I'm Bruce Watts. I'm Senior Vice President of the Development for the Woder Cooper Companies. Craig Patterson to my left, Senior Vice President of the Development for Woder Cooper. We're going to be your MC today, and we're going to get through this program before the rain comes. But first of all, I want to introduce Pastor Blunt, and I'm going to say a little bit about him. When we first came to Portsmouth, the first person I talked to was Senator Louise Lucas. And I wasn't about to come to this city unless I spoke to her first to get her feedback on what we were proposing to do. And then I was told, you need to talk to Pastor Blunt and the congregation, the religious congregation here. And he had me over at his office. We had a big spread for lunch, one of the best lunches I've ever had in my life. And the congregation of ministers came to support us when we were at City Council. And so I could not start this program off without him blessing this project for us. So the invocation by Pastor Blunt, if you could come forward, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you, Bruce. And I was certainly enjoying those comments you were making about me to the point that I got comfortable and forgot that I was here to do invocation. But thank you so very much, and we're certainly delighted to be able to share in this wonderful project and to be a part of what has happened in this great city of Portsmouth. Let us bow our heads for prayer. Dear God of grace, we are so grateful and thankful to you for this moment. As we gather together, we do recall the words of your Son, Christ, our Lord, who declared that when we've done it unto the least, we've done it unto you. We thank you, O God, for this housing community that provides housing for a mixed array of persons. We bless you and we give you praise for what you have done, for your favor that is upon us. We thank you for this community we call Holley Pointe, that points to the fact that you are a God of grace, a God of provision, and a God of mercy. Bless us now as we gather here, as we gather to reflect, as we gather to celebrate, and as we gather to embrace all that you do through humanity, as we seek to come together to make a difference and be impactful as it relates to the lives of others. Bless this housing community. Bless it in every way. We pray now your blessings upon this ceremony. It's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much, Pastor Blunt. To give you a little background about this development here, this is a 50-unit mixed-use development. So we have 50 apartments, 2 and 3 bedrooms. We have 6,500 square feet of commercial space on the ground floor. And we're going to have an announcement a little bit later about the potential tenants for that. We have large living space, fully equipped kitchens and appliances there. We have Earthcraft Gold certification here, which basically means the average tenant will save approximately 30% on their utility bills every month. Not once a year, every month. That's significant. And I constantly tell people that the appliances that we have in our developments are newer than the ones I have in my house. So that lets you know about the quality that we have here. We also have a community room, and Westbury Civic League has actually had 2 Civic League meetings in our community room. You will see that later. It's a little bit over 749 square feet, beautiful community room that's open to our residents here and also to the community for special events and special functions. Um, the income range is 30 to 80% AMI. And basically what that means is we have rents that start, they're very few, but there are rents that start at $350 and they go all the way to $1,100. So that's significant for people that work. And what people need to understand, the majority of our tenants that live here either are retired or they work. And people that work need to live in affordable quality. And we say quality. David Cooper, one of our principal owners, is big on the quality aspect, and I am too. But what we build is quality. And I put up our product against anybody in this country because that's what we build. And you'll see that when you go through for the tour a little bit later on. At this time, what I like to do is introduce the great mayor for the city of Portsmouth, Mayor Shannon Glover. And just to give you a little background on Mayor Glover, where are you? There he is. Sharpest dressing mayor in Hampton Roads. But just to give you a little background on Mayor Glover, when we first started this project, which is about 4 years ago, he was not on city council. 2 years after that, he was. And he had just come on board when we had to go back to city council to get a special use permit. And Pastor Blunt had his congregation there, pastors there, and people from the community. And Shannon told me then, he said, look, I'm new on council, but I'm going to support this project. And he said, whatever I can do to make that work for you, I'm going to do it. Now, he was new on council. You guys know how it is when you have a new council member. So he actually kind of sit in the background a little bit because Councilwoman Lisa Lucas-Burke quarterbacked this project for us. And I'll talk a little bit about that too. But Mayor Glover, just a little background, he's a graduate of Norfolk State University. He has his own business here in the city of Portsmouth. He was elected to city council in 2017. He was elected to mayor in 2020. It gives me great pleasure and an honor to introduce to you the great mayor from the city of Portsmouth, Mayor Shannon Glover.
Well, you know, it's been a busy morning already, but this was the part of the morning I was really looking forward to. Coming across the tunnel this morning, I thought about a few things about the significance of this facility. And I wanted to start off by thanking everyone for being here. This is a community effort, and it is certainly a part of that bold new direction initiative that I talked about when I ran for mayor of the city of Portsmouth. I want to take a moment to thank and welcome the Holley family. Dr. Holley, thank you, sir, for your presence. And more importantly, the Holley family represents the Portsmouth family. And so we want to let you know that we are grateful for all of the contributions that your family have made and continue to make to the city of Portsmouth. But this welcome is more about just letting everybody know, get used to this kind of stuff, right? Get used to what we're doing in Portsmouth. I know the stories, I hear a lot of stuff on the street, but at the end of the day, we are one community focused on providing quality, affordable housing to our residents because we understand that this is a blue collar community and we understand that we have to help lift those up. And this is just the beginning, Bruce. And we're grateful. We want to welcome the Woda Group and their commitment to the city of Portsmouth and everything that you have done, everything that all of you have done collectively has brought us to this day. So on behalf of the Portsmouth City Council and also our city staff and our city manager, Ms. Tanya Chapman, I want to thank you and welcome each of you here today. And I hope that as you go through this place, you will envision this happening more and participating more because this doesn't happen without everybody involved. Thank you so much and enjoy this event.
Thank you, Mayor Glover. We appreciate all your support. We are looking at another site in this city. It's not done yet, but we're starting our due diligence, and we would love to come right back and build a similar product in the city of Portsmouth very soon. This project is approximately $12 million, and we still count the change on it because we're still doing some small revisions to it. But as you can see from just the appearance of it, from the exterior, this is a quality product. And in my opinion, it's the best development in downtown Portsmouth. At this time, I'd like to introduce Congressman Bobby Scott. And Congressman Scott and I go way back. A little bit over a month ago, I got a call from his office and said, in a couple of days, we're having a Veterans Day parade, Bruce, and we understand you got a nice little red convertible that we would love for Congressman Scott to be able to be in the parade with. And I said, there's nowhere in the world I can say no to Congressman Bobby Scott. And so I said, absolutely, I'll be able to do that. But we had a good time that day. But just to give you a little background on Congressman Scott, Congressman Scott graduated from Harvard and also Boston College Law. He's been on the Judiciary Committee, Crime, Tourism, Homeland Security. And we have, now get this, we have 5 developments in his district, in the 3rd district. 5 affordable developments, affordable housing, totaling over $47 million. 2 in Newport News, 2 in Norfolk, and now 1 in Portsmouth. And we're getting ready to have another one if everything works out okay. But Congressman Scott is committed to affordable housing. He's my congressman too. And I'm just proud that he's here with us today. And without any further ado, the greatest congressman in the United States of America, Congressman Bobby Scott.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. We had a good time in that parade.
We did.
Thank you so much. And this is a great day for Portsmouth. And when I think about all of what's going on, I think about that day that Yogi Berra got a great award. And he approached the microphone and looked around and said, I want to thank everyone who made tonight's ceremony necessary. This is a great day for Portsmouth. Great to be named after Jim Holley. It's good to see you, Doctor. And want to recognize all the elected officials and city officials and everybody involved. As Bruce pointed out, this is the 5th in the 3rd Congressional District, 2 in Newport News, 2 in Norfolk. And I think I've attended all of the groundbreakings. I think I've been all of them, I'm not sure. But these projects are so important because housing is such an important aspect of a person's life. Housing, food, health care, add to the dignity of a person, and certainly living in this kind of facility, quality facility, means that people will be living with dignity. And this is just great to be named after the late Portsmouth Mayor, Jim Holley. Great advocate for the city of Portsmouth, always talked about the Portsmouth family. Is the first elected to city council way back in the 1960s, one of the first African Americans elected to public office in Hampton Roads. And he just had tremendous spirit. And this is the kind of thing he would just love being here, cutting this ribbon. No doubt about it. So thank you for naming it after such an advocate for Portsmouth. And thank you for coming to the 3rd District again. And I want to thank the Water Cooper companies and the city and state officials and the Holley family for making today's ceremony necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. I appreciate it. Now you guys know how special Congressman Bobby Scott is. He's definitely special to us, and we thank him so much for all of his leadership. We've got a couple other national officials that I'd like to recognize. One is Senator John Warner, Senator Warner's office, Mark Warner, I'm sorry, the late John Warner. Boy, that was a Freudian slip. Yeah. Mark Warner. I actually played basketball at his farm up in Northern Virginia before. But Gene Garland is here to represent Senator Warner. Could you stand, Gene? Thank you, Gene. Also, Senator, I got this one right, Congressman, Tim Kaine. Did I get that? Timothy Kaine. Did I get that one right? Okay. He could not be here, but one of his representatives was supposed to be here, Diane Kaufman. I'm not sure she's here yet. We also have some local officials. The former vice mayor from the city of Suffolk, Charles Brown, is here. Charles, where are you? Are there any other officials that I missed on the state level? Oh, Dr. Hammond from Virginia Beach, who's running for city council. She's here. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. School board member from Norfolk Public Schools, Carlos Clanton, is also here. Thank you, Carlos, for being here. As you can tell, we're regional. It's Portsmouth, but Mayor Holley would always tell you it's all about being regional. So thank you all for being here. At this point, I would like to introduce to you someone that's dear to my heart also, and that's Senator Louise Lucas. Senator Lucas, let me get my cards here right so I don't mess this up.
They know me, it's all right.
I know they do, but I just want to give you your props here, Senator. Senator Lucas is the second most powerful senator in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I need to repeat that again. She's the second most powerful senator in the Commonwealth of Virginia. President Pro Tem and District 18. And that doesn't come by easy. Senator Lucas has been, I moved here in 1992. And I remember Senator Lucas talking about a casino in 1992. Y'all remember that? In 1992. And guess what's happening today? You're getting a casino in the city of Portsmouth. Right here. Right here. So Senator Lucas, like I said before, she was the first person that I came to when I decided to look at the city for a potential development site. And I got her blessing, and she never wavered. You know, whenever I came back to her, the message was consistent. I support it. So Senator Lucas, I just want to thank you for all that you've done for this region, for the city of Portsmouth over your tenure, and your best days are still ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bruce. I really appreciate that introduction. And I can tell you, I am so excited about the reason we're here today. Because if Dr. Holley were here, he would say that this is an extension of the Portsmouth family. Every time we have a new development come into the city, of course, that expands this family. I'm excited because I've always been in favor of affordable housing, and especially this particular project that provides an array of housing is exactly what we need for this city. So I want to say up front, Bruce, before we go any further, that when you get ready for your next project, I will be just as much behind you with that one as I have been for this one. Because this is what attracts people to the city. When people can have affordable housing so that they can get to work and not have to worry about, especially going through the tunnel, thank you, then we want to try to attract as many people as we can here to Portsmouth so that we can continue to extend the Portsmouth family. Pastor Blunt is my pastor, and of course, you know, we converse about a lot of things, and we did also about this project. And so for that reason, I am so happy to see everybody here today and people who have worked on these kinds of issues here for years. Ray, all of you. I can't thank you enough for standing behind Bruce Watts and supporting him for this project, because this is a kind of project that we need here in the city of Portsmouth. And we got a new city manager, and I told her this morning that this is going to be one of many great groundbreakings that we will see here in the city of Portsmouth. Portsmouth is the home of my birth, and nothing makes me happier than extending the family. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you again, Senator Lucas. And again, we appreciate all the leadership that you have shown us and continue to show us how to do things right. And we just appreciate that. The next person I'd like to bring up is Councilwoman, is Delegate Don Scott here? Delegate Scott was supposed to be here today, but he may be late getting here through traffic or whatever. But Delegate Don Scott is the minority leader in the House, and he's a very important person too. And you think about it, you got the second most powerful person in the Senate in Portsmouth, and you got the minority leader in Portsmouth. Is that a blessing or what? We also, is Delegate Delarius Scott here? Clark? Welcome. Thank you for coming. We appreciate your leadership also. I think we also have City Council Member DeAndre Bonds and Chris Wooler. Are they here? Thank you all for being here. Well, Councilman Moody is going to speak, but Congressman, thank you again for having my back. You know, that's what friends are for, Congressman. So thank you for having my back on that. But he's going to be up in just a couple of minutes. Are there any other council members here today? And City Manager, welcome. You did a great job as chief here. You're going to do an awesome job as City Manager. So thank you for being here. Now, Congressman Scott, we're going to introduce Councilman Bill Moody. Councilman Moody, this will give you a little bit of history behind him. Of course, he's a veteran, of course. He's a person that's been on City Council for a very long time. And when Craig Patterson and I went before Council, of course, we had to go before Council twice. And Councilman Bill Moody was the pivotal vote that got us our special use permit. And we met with him. You talk about a person of honor and dignity, a person that tells you they're going to do something and they do it. Well, that's Councilman Bill Moody. Councilman Bill Moody, we appreciate everything you've done to help us get this project where it is today. So if you could come up and give some remarks, and we thank you so much for all your leadership.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. It is a great day. You know, I served with Mayor Holley for 10 or 12 years, and I was at a lot of these type ceremonies with him, and invariably, he would start off with a bromide. Rest easy. I don't remember any of his bromides, but they were all wonderful. You know, I was the deciding vote, but former Councilman Ray Smith, who's director of EDA, was one of the other votes. My colleague, Councilwoman Lucas-Burke was the other one, and Dr. Whitaker. So that was 4, and that's what it took. And, you know, sometimes it takes a while for good things to happen. My initial vote wasn't for the project, believe it or not. Council at that time had 2 readings. And during the second reading, we had a number of citizens there that spoke in support and spoke in the need of affordable housing. And I thought about that, and what they had to say registered on my heart. And I said, how can you verbally say that you in favor of affordable housing and vote against this $11 million project for affordable housing. I came to the conclusion you can't do it, and I didn't do it. I always pride myself to do the right thing, and I think voting for this was absolutely the right thing to do. And a lot of adjectives describe this, beautiful as being one of them, but the other one would be need. Obviously, that's not an adjective, that's probably a verb, but there is a need. There was a need 4 years ago, and this is another thing. 4 years ago is when the vote occurred. 2 years ago tomorrow is when we broke ground for this project. That's 4 years. The mayor mentioned that we've got other projects in the works, and I know the mayor and my colleagues are going to make sure that these good things happen at a little faster pace. You have my word. I'll do my part to make that happen. Absolutely. But the need for affordable housing in Portsmouth 4 years ago was great. Today, as we stand here, it's even greater. And I'm real glad to see that Bruce and the Woda Cooper companies are looking at another similar project in Portsmouth. So, Bruce, we look forward to that. And thank you for your investment in our city and faith in our city.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Councilman, thank you. Okay, we'll get this right. Isn't it awesome to build relationships? Yes. You can't beat it in this business. Speaking of building relationships, there's a person that quarterbacked this project for us. You know, I'm not a person that minces his words, but when I went to Councilwoman Lucas-Burke, and I said, I need someone to champion this project for us. When you have a project like this, when you don't have everybody on board, you got to have a key person that can quarterback and maneuver and speak up for the project. And Councilwoman Lucas-Burke, she did that for us, and she was very consistent. She is a person that, when I called, she always returned my phone call. It wasn't a week later either, okay? And that's a responsible person, period, but especially a responsible politician, because, you know, they get calls all the time. But I would call her and say, I've got this issue, I've got this issue. Where do you think I should go? Right, left, center here. And she would always give me her opinion, and she would say, you know, I back you and I respect you for whatever decision you end up making here. So, Councilwoman, she was the vice mayor when we pivoted this project. And she was an outstanding vice mayor, outstanding council person. And it's a privilege to have you here today to speak. So, Councilwoman, please come forward and give your remarks. Councilwoman Lisa Lucas-Burke.
Hello, everyone. What a great day to be in Portsmouth. And I never thought of myself as a quarterback, but I guess I'll take that. But I am a person that when I get passionate about my issues, and I think y'all have seen me be passionate about my issues a couple times here in the city, I will take that ball and take it across the finish line for you. So this is one of the projects that I did advocate for as a former liaison to the Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority, and I never missed a meeting. I actually enjoyed being there with those members and those commissioners and learning the things that they could do for our city and how we could advance our city. And when I found out that the Woda Group was going to bring affordable housing, that was a no-brainer for me. So he did ask me to advocate with my colleagues and the members on the Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority. I was grateful to be able to do that because I know what Portsmouth need. And I know that I speak with citizens and residents all the time, and they're looking for places for their children to move out of their homes. They're looking for people to have their own independence. They're looking for places for seniors to be able to feel that they're comfortable in affordable housing. And here we are. We have a beautiful project that's here. I oftentimes rode by the one in Norfolk, and I couldn't wait to see what it was going to look like. But I think ours look a lot better. And you know, as you improve, you know, you get better with time. And so we have a project that's going to be, you know, an opportunity that's going to be great for many years. And I like to call this our him moment. It's historical for the Holley family. Great to see Dr. Holley here. And I've known the Holley family in different aspects all of my life. And so this is a great opportunity that Wooder Group has taken. And I met Mr. David Cooper, you know, proud of the work that you're doing. So the him moment is historical. It is exciting, and it's going to be monumental. This project, this property right here sat vacant for over 40 years of my life. I mean, as a young girl, as a teenager in high school and in the band and riding by this, we always wondered what it could be. This is what it should have been. And we're at this moment now. I'm proud to see all of you here supporting it. Bruce, you know, when you have your next project coming up, if I don't be your quarterback, you know, I'll definitely be advocating for whatever we need, because I've always said that we need affordable housing on this side of the tunnel so that our residents don't have to spend their earned income going back and forth through tunnel tolls. So glad to see this project and looking forward for many more. So thank you all for being here, and I applaud the Wooder Group for their efforts. Thank you.
So much. Thank you, Councilwoman. You know, you have to have partners when you do a project. Of course, you know, the city of Portsmouth was a major partner of ours. You know, you have to get different permits in order to build a building, especially of this quality. You know, we went through the Downtown Design Review Committee, which is not an easy committee to go through, but we did exactly what they asked us to do. So some of the bells and whistles that you see on the design of this building, it was in partnership with the Wooder Cooper Company. Yeah, we spend more money to do that, but we wanted to show the city that we could put a quality product in downtown Portsmouth, and I think that's what we did. One of this property was owned by the Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority. And just to give you a little background, and then we got to go and get the ribbon cutting going, but I have to acknowledge the former board, former Chairman Davey Smith, Ms. Riddick over there. I think there's a couple other members that are here, Miriam Jiggets. Are there others? Well, that particular board was the one that voted for us to sell us the property here. And it wasn't an easy task, but we were able to do it. Bruce Ladoon was one of the members. He was the vice chair. He's the chair now. And so when I looked at Bruce's background, life is such a short window. You never know who you know. You know, our headquarters is in Columbus, Ohio. You know where Bruce graduated from college? He's a Buckeye. He's a Buckeye. He's one of us now. He also went to the University of Tennessee, you know, but he let me know his allegiance was with the Buckeyes. So Bruce, we thank you for your leadership. We thank you for helping us get this property, helping us get this developed. Mr. Ed Bland, Elisa Winston, their entire staff, been very professional and helped us navigate through this process. And I want to personally thank you, Ed, for your leadership also. So Bruce, come up. You're officially a Buckeye again.
Thank you so much, and thank you everybody for being here. This is a great day for us, as this is a great day for the Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority. On behalf of the authority, Bruce has already mentioned Ed Bland. He's the quarterback of our team, our executive director, who's taken us through this process. And Danny and Rita, thank you for that legacy that you've left with us. We have two other commissioners here, Sean Prince and Renee Wicks, who serve with us now as the 7 commissioners that are appointed by council, and we appreciate the trust that the council has given us. But I'm here to talk about the 4,000 families we already represent. I'm here to talk about the 12,000 individuals that live in low-income housing. And we're trying to make that shift to supporting senior housing and affordable housing. When Bruce came to the authority 4 years ago, in our opinion, it was a slam dunk. This is where we needed to go. So Bruce, thank you. David, Craig, thank you for what you're doing here. Because we still have 5,000 families on a waiting list here in the city of Portsmouth. This is just going to put a chink in that armor. And we have plans, as Bruce has said, we've got a lot of plans that we're going to try and support here in the city of Portsmouth. But this is great. Because of the professionalism of Woda Cooper, David and Craig, and Woda Construction, 50 families now call 622 Effingham home. Because of the business partnerships, the acumen of Virginia Housing, the Cedar Rapids Finance, 50 families are calling Holley Pointe home. That's fantastic, all right? Because of that vision, that leadership that Ray had, and at the time, Vice Mayor Lucas-Burke, because of, and Councilman Bill Moody, because of the courage they had, 50 families now call Portsmouth home. And that's what we want for us here with the Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority. So Dr. Holley, on behalf of the Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority, thank you for allowing us to put your father's name on the marquee here. But more than importantly, thank you for that legacy that he left us of about supporting the Portsmouth family. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you, Bruce. The next speaker we're going to have is Mr. Ray Smith. And I've got to tell you a story behind him, and so just bear with me. But he is Mr. Dominion Energy. There's a reason for that. You see that transformer over there? Well, back in December, we were told, because it's the Christmas holidays is coming up, that guys, you're not going to get a transformer until sometime in January. So I called Mayor Glover, and Mayor Glover is all about relationships. So Mayor Glover told me to call Julius Williams. Julius Williams, well, no, Councilman Bill Moody told me to call Ray Smith. Y'all getting the connections here? So between the mayor, the council member, they connected me with the right person to get a transformer in December, in the middle of December, when everybody's taking off for what? Christmas. If that's not a miracle, I don't know what is, okay? So Ray Smith was formerly on city council. He's now the chairman of the Economic Development Authority, who owns a piece of property that we're looking at now. Mr. Smith, when he was currently with the EDA, and there was some issues about where this property was going to end up being, in the housing authority or whether it's going to be with the city. But he gave me some very valuable information, and I never forgot it. And again, Ray, I just appreciate you helping us on both ends, on the political side of helping me navigate the property and where it was going to end up being, but also when you brought the cavalry in here. I'm talking about Dominion Energy. We had about a half a dozen trucks out here, and he was out here, he got here before I did, every day, telling the crew, I need you guys to get this done. So Ray, without any further ado, I know it's a little long, but I had to tell y'all that story. He's also, he went to school in Ohio too, in Columbus too, and he's a Buckeye. He knows more about the Buckeyes than Craig Patterson does. Right.
Good morning to everyone, and indeed, this is a grand opportunity. This is great. This is awesome. My connection with this crossed so many different paths, beginning with City Council. Also, and let me back up too and get this out of the way first. I've known Dr. James Holley since I guess I was 4 or 5 years old. My father knew him, was a friend of him. I've known him most of my life. And then I got the opportunity in 2004 to 2006 to work with him on city council. And that was an experience. Anybody that knows him knows that he's the real deal and he don't play. I learned a lot from him. I also took a lot of advice from him because he was the master of a lot of things, and he especially running a meeting and especially knowing how to get things done because he knew everybody and his brother. So, and we thank the family for allowing Woodard Cooper to grace this building with his name, and it's a great, great honor, and thank you. Now, also getting back to my part, I initially, as been said, was on that council that voted to make this happen. And that same council, when I left the council, they appointed me to the Economic Development Authority where I'm at now as the chair. And I want to also give recognition to our absent interim director, Brian Donahue, also has been instrumental. And today we do have some staff here. We have Pam Kroom, who manages our Portsmouth at Work Center. And then we also, for the first time publicly, we have a new hire, Amy Tracy. They're sitting up. Stand up. And I want to thank Amy for taking the job to come to little old Portsmouth. Thank you. All the way from Richmond. So also we have board commissioners here. I think I saw Teresa Saunders Smith. Yes. And are there any others here? But again, I've got to know Bruce back then on council, and he's always been a gentleman. He's a Christian man, and he's also been very genuine and humble. And that's a rarity when you get into this kind of business. He's maintained his humble humility, but he impressed me to the point to get involved in any way I could to try to make this happen, even in all my roles. Dominion Energy, I recently finished 42 years with them, and it's not that I have so much clout at at Dominion, but I just know everybody. After being there, and you get on the telephone and you start making calls. Junius and I were working on this together. Junius started first, and then Bill got me involved, and so we both were a little team working it. And Junius kind of backed out and turned the rest over to me. So it's not always about position and about clout. It's just who you know. And because I was a supervisor in Dominion, and I worked in all of the offices, there were still some folks around that I knew. And one of them was the manager of operations and construction, Thomas Kern, who today presently is still at the Chuckatuck office, who manages Portsmouth. But it wasn't about me. It was about this product. It was about what it was going to do for this city, because there's nothing close to downtown that offers this level of rents and affordability for folks, working everyday folks. And I've already reassured Bruce that he can count on me on that EDA to definitely do everything I can to make the second project happen. And I think we'll get that done. But again, but also, and I want to back up too. I got a little excited about Bruce kind of messing me up with his talk, but to also do honor to our federal Congressman Scott and also Warner's representative, and also Senator Lucas, and the various from the House of Delegates, and then of course our council members, Lisa Lucas-Burke and Bill, and then none other than also my buddy, Councilman Shannon Glover, who I've got to know very closely. And then also to be graced by the presence of other folks, my longtime friend, Sir Charles, I call him Sir Charles Brown. We were also, worked together back in the council days from Suffolk, and others that are here from from the school board and other entities. But again, it's just awesome to be here, and I thank the good Lord for Woodard and Cooper have provided this opportunity, and I know everybody that's living up here will vouch for the same, that it was just a blessing for them to be here and them to build a product like this. It is awesome, and I thank you. And I've got to know Craig Patterson, and I'll meet David, I guess, before the day is over, Mr. Cooper. But then two of the young men I met last night also. But anyway, thank you for everyone for being here, and continue to keep the faith in Portsmouth and Woodard Cooper because they're coming back.
You're coming back like the Buckeyes. Ray, thank you so much. And again, we appreciate your leadership on the EDA. The Economic Development Authority is a very powerful board. And they have the ability to buy property. They have the ability to have funds to help offset the cost of building developments. And they are an integral part in what makes a city work. So thank you for your leadership. Now I would like to bring to the podium the president of Westbury Civic League, Ms. Pamela Wilkins. Pamela and I go back several years. When I came to her Civic League meeting, Wanda Ferguson and I told her that, I just don't want you to believe what I tell you. I want to show you our product. So I took her to the banks at Berkeley, and unannounced. I didn't call people and say, hey, make sure this is right. I don't do that. Unannounced. Wanda Ferguson was there. We gave her a tour of the banks at Berkeley, and I didn't have to do anything else, okay? She said, I will support you, Bruce. She said, I would love for this product to be in Portsmouth. She's had two Civic League meetings here already in our community room, and we're committed to her. We're gonna help in any way we can to support the Civic League. And Pamela, I just want to thank you personally for your leadership and all you've done to help us bring this project here. Thank you so much.
Hello to everyone that's in attendance. I feel honored to be here today, to be just a small part of the support that this place came to fruition. I like to say Mr. Bruce came to our Civic League meeting and he wanted to tell us about the project. And he brought the drawings and he brought everything and explained everything to us, how it's going to be. We were sold at that point, and we was definitely sold because they brought food and fed us. And that chicken salad was off the chain. But anyway, we were bought before the chicken salad. But it was a good project, and we also was in attendance at the city council to be in support for this project. And I want to say it's a beautiful project. Now, he did take me over to the Berkeley, in the banks in Berkeley, but I echo what Councilman Lucas-Burke said. It's prettier than the one over Norfolk. But they are beautiful. They gave us a tour. They let us have our Civic League meeting here. They gave us a tour of the facility. And it is awesome. It's quality. It's very affordable. It's not low income. It's affordable. Because last I checked, the median income in Portsmouth was $41,300 some dollars. Now, you making that much money, that amount of money, and you have 2 or 3 kids, you can't afford some of those apartments downtown, because they start at $1,400. So I'm grateful for this project and many more of these projects to come, so the people that's living in Portsmouth and working in Portsmouth, they can live in their own city and work and live in their own city and not have to go through the tunnel. So I appreciate you, Miss Bruce and the Water Company. And we have our meetings here, as he said, they opened the door for us to have our meetings. And we also open up our meetings to the residents here, although they're not homeowners in Westbury, but they still need to know what's going on in the surrounding city. So when they come to our meetings, when we have our officer that's assigned to us to come and give us an update on what's happening around us, and let them know, what different events are happening in the city, so they can benefit from it as well. Just like this company is all about community, we're all about the community, and we all can help one another. So I appreciate you all being here. Looking forward to more projects like this. And thank you all for having me.
Thank you very much, Pam, Ms. Wilkins, and appreciate you being a leader in the city. It's not easy being a Civic League president. Trust me, I'm a Civic League president myself. And it's not an easy job, and you've been doing a lot longer than I have, so thank you for your service. I do appreciate it. I'm going to pass the football here to my colleague, Patrick Craig Patterson, another Buckeye. And a person that's been with Walter Cooper Companies a long time, and he is the epitome of a professional. And it gives me great pleasure to pass the football over to him. Patrick.
Thank you, Bruce. You know, a Buckeye living in Michigan for 25 years, can you imagine? It prepped me to meet the Holley team that perseveres and has so much courage. Because it's difficult when you're a Buckeye in Michigan. But, you know, it's 10 years ago. I met Bruce. David Cooper and Jeff Wotus said, go to the Commonwealth in 2006. We focused in the Richmond area. We got our first deal in Richmond. But I was having a struggle. I could not connect in Tidewater. So somebody said, you need to call Bruce Watts. We sat at the water side by the fireplace. He and Charles was with us too. From Suffolk, and I knew that Bruce could do it, and today is a testimony to Bruce's great skills. But without Virginia Housing, this could have never happened. All of the projects that we've been successful, all 5 in Bobby Scott's district, are the result of housing tax credits coming from the federal government allocated through Virginia Housing, so that we could build 14 million for 50 families. And we're going to talk to you about the mixed use commercial space, which was so desperately needed in this gap, what we call, between High Street and down here. And we have 2 tenants, and we're going to tell you about that later. But Tammy Neal is here from Virginia Housing. She has a great team. She is chief of programs there. And Tammy, could you come up? And while she's coming up, I'm going to tell you about J.D. Bondurant, who is incredible, and Pamela, who's incredible, and
Stephanie Flanders.
Stephanie's here. Say, Stephanie, raise your hand. Yeah. They all helped us with this application. Sergio.
And Sergio, yeah.
And Michael Stein.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Tammy Neal, and I'm Chief of Programs with Virginia Housing, and today is a blessing, beautiful, wonderful day. I've just been so honored to listen to everyone this morning and want to acknowledge Dr. Holley's family. I did not know much until I looked online, and I read a lot of information, and just so impressed and so grateful to his work and that he's represented through this building. I want to acknowledge, of course, Congressman Scott, Senator Lucas, all the dignitaries that are represented either in person, locally and federally and statewide here today. I am really honored to be here. I have had the pleasure of getting to know Bruce as well as Craig and David. I think you're out there somewhere. I would say for this project, persistence does pay off. I know this was a long time coming. At Virginia Housing, affordability is what we do. We believe fundamentally home helps everyone. We're currently celebrating our 50th anniversary of helping Virginians attain quality, affordable housing, and we will keep doing it until the need is gone in Virginia, which will probably take a long time. For the Portsmouth community, this is huge. This is another step towards providing beautiful, wonderful housing for the citizens that live here. At Virginia Housing, we think it's very important that we have equitable approach to housing and ensure that everyone has an opportunity to have safe, modern, fair housing. We know that affordability is a huge challenge across Virginia, and it's such a difficult situation from an economic standpoint, and we're very fortunate that working with Walter Cooper, we're able to provide the financing, specifically $8.45 million in tax credit funding for this type of project. having these amenities, I keep hearing about the community room. I can't wait to go inside, having amenities to be able to work, live close to where people work. I keep hearing about not going through the tunnel and having the opportunity to have housing that is near where people work, where people want to live is part of who we are at Virginia Housing. So those 50 units that have universal design that save, I think it was 30%, I'm quoting you, I believe, Bruce, 30% monthly savings, that's substantial. That's really in someone's pocket. And we fundamentally believe that that's an important approach to making sure that people live where they can afford to live. At Virginia Housing, we try to make sure that we use every tool in our toolbox to provide financing, and the low-income housing tax credit program is absolutely fundamentally part of that. I want to acknowledge, before I conclude, Stephanie, I know, Craig, you mentioned several folks on our team. It does take a village at Virginia Housing. We do partner with other finance entities across the Commonwealth, but Stephanie, I have to say, I know personally that you helped bring this over the finish line. So thank you for helping to make sure that that came to fruition. And thank you for lifting up this deal. Holley Pointe is in good hands because Woda Cooper is committed to managing this property and a professional, dedicated staff, and is a Virginia Housing certified management agent, which basically means that we have the utmost confidence in their ability in managing this property. So on behalf of Virginia Housing, I want to congratulate everyone involved in this project and look forward to the future growth of not only Holley Pointe, but I gather other initiatives that you might have in the pipeline. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. She mentioned the $8.5 million in credit, and you need an investor. Wells Fargo is our investor. They were faithful throughout the whole process and the timing it took to get the deal completed. Certificate of occupancy. Their representative could not attend today, but they expressed their gratitude to the Holley and Portsmouth family. Our perm debt, they also not only bought the credits, but they also underwrote the construction loan. Michael Gord is here from Cedar Rapids Bank and Trust, and I'm going to ask Michael to come up. And Michael was essential because he gave us the perm debt, which is a long-term commitment, as you all know. Michael.
Michael Gert, Vice President of Cedar Rapids Bank and Trust. Honestly, days like today are the most favorite part of my job. Most of you probably don't understand or realize what it takes to get to this point. Both from a development side and a financing structure. 4 years is probably even on the light end when you talk about when developments like these start to come to fruition. And I'm not exaggerating when I say thousands and thousands of phone calls, emails, hurdles, hours that development teams, local authorities, et cetera, have to do and navigate in order to get to a point like this. So these truly are the best days of my job. I'm extremely excited to be a small part of this project. Congratulations to the Woda Cooper team. I have the privilege of working with a lot of developers across the country, and I mean this wholeheartedly when I say that Woda Cooper's developments are of the highest standard. If you haven't seen this building yet, you'll see that firsthand. They truly do a phenomenal job for the neighborhood, the area, the city, et cetera. So congratulations to David, the Woda Cooper team, Craig and Bruce, and thanks for letting us be a small part of this project.
I'm going to quickly introduce the team that made this all possible, and the Holley Pointe team on the Woda Coopers. But first, I want to thank the mayor. I want to thank the council members, the EDA, Portsmouth Redevelopment. I want to personally do that. Bruce has done that multiple times because I came in and I didn't have the connections that Bruce has. And the Holley family and the Portsmouth family accepted me, and they coached us along the way. And our team has grown as a result. And one thing that's been talked about before, perseverance, courage. And these two young guys back and back, they're brand new to the company and they are listening. because we're passing the torch and they're learning from today. And thank you for sharing as you've shared. First of all, the design. When we found that we were in the downtown and there was a DDA design committee, we understood that they spoke volumes, and when they speak, you listen. So what we did was quickly recruit a historic architect that we worked with in Michigan from PCI Design. And some of you remember Heather DeCourt, a small woman, came to the council meetings. She came to DDA Design, and she has gotten us some governor's awards in other states, and that's the skin that you see. But our lead architect, the one who had the perseverance for 2+ years, Patrick Kelderhouse from Hooker Design, back and back, he really persevered. He hung in there. There were multiple changes. And then Rayford Urey's, Hogard Urey, our civil from Portsmouth, Jack Claude, Chris Stubbs, Ray Urey, I think they're here. They raise their hands. And believe me, I've learned more, even though I live in the Great Lakes state and I'm surrounded by water, I'm starting to learn about water here, how it rises, on these rain days. And so we thank them for the storm and how they put that all together for us. And truly was remarkable how that all came together. And we continue to work with our designers. We also had our structural engineer that was from here as well, Speak, I think I got that right. More, they were here and they did all our structural work. But I'm going to ask one of our key partners to come up, Joe Goldstein, and talk real quick about what we got going on in the commercial space with 2 leases signed. I think everybody will be very interested in that.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
My name is Joe Goldstein. We have a real estate management firm in Savannah, Georgia, and I'm very happy to work with Woda Cooper. We worked on several projects together. I'm delighted that Portsmouth has this amazing facility and that we're going to have some commercial space that we're able to bring some needed services to the community. I'm happy to announce that we have in the back April, make sure I pronounce your last name, McElroy, I'm sorry. She and her group are going to be opening a hair and day spa in the space behind me here. It's about 2,500 square feet. She'll be doing pedicures, manicures, hair salon, and day spa. And I'm very happy to introduce, she goes by Queen. There's a company called For the People, Inc. And what they do is offer art and music classes to students who no longer have that in the public school system. So her team travels to other schools in other states to help provide that. So she's going to move her offices here. She's going to set up a small sound booth, and we'll do some artwork here. And hopefully some of the students, some of the kids that live in the building will be able to take advantage of her skills. We're hoping possibly to have a restaurant down here. It's another avenue for the community. And we're excited just to team up with Woda Cooper. They're terrific partners. And I look forward to maybe the next project coming, as you and Bruce had stated, and bringing some more retail to downtown Portsmouth. So thank you and congratulations on a wonderful project.
Woda Construction was the general contractor, and I think they did a superb job. You're going to see more. Ray Webb, I want to recognize. Mark Easterday, both of them were here every day working through it, especially at the end when the cavalry came from Dominion Energy. And then Lance Pollock, who's the senior VP, who was here a lot and continues to work with our team on this site. We couldn't do them without it. We're a vertically integrated company, which means I'm in development. We mentioned Bruce and the young guys back and back. There are some other gentlemen like Clay Cooper and Greg Mustrick back home that were part of this, and several others. But I want to mention management. One thing we do, we manage our own properties, because if we manage your own properties, you know about it sooner than a third party. Our management team, Crystal, is here. Crystal, you want to raise your hand? She is the regional. Where is Wanda Ferguson? Everybody knows Wanda in these parts. Wanda doesn't only do the paperwork. She cares for the people. She brings in food to the banks of Berkeley. She'll do the same. She helps people in need. And Wanda's been an incredible asset to our group. Darby's here, Chase is here. There are service techs, Quentin, Melissa, Christian, these Quentin Thornton, they're all people that focus on this property, and we're thankful that they're on our team. And Kathy Osterman, who is at corporate office and flies down here multiple times, she is also here. But you know, management and Woda Cooper is about the people. Now, we're about the people, but you're more about your people. But we are pleased to have a mission statement that says we open new doors to those who serve us daily in the workplace, like Bruce mentioned, seniors who have served us and may be retired. I want to bring up one of our residents because we care. They are our customers. And there's 2 residents who are going to come up who are living here. And the first resident, if Linda could come up, Linda Goody. Linda has 4 children, single mom. She has a job as a cafeteria worker in the school district. And Linda has an amazing story about 10 months without a home, in a car, in a parking lot with her 4 kids, and she waited. Linda, could you please share?
Good afternoon. My name is Linda, and I'm a resident at Holley Pointe. We've been here since June the 22nd. Today marks a year that last year on this day, me and my children were actually sleeping in a car in a Wawa parking lot. We've been in a shelter for 10 months. We waited for this nice place. It is very nice. My son called it a mini mansion inside of an apartment building. We love the high ceilings. This is our first brand new place ever, and we are very thankful. Miss Ferguson, she is very, I have a nice community manager. She's very helpful. Days that I was calling, waiting for this to be open, she was answering questions. She never let me down, and I was the first one to move in, and we are thankful. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Daryl Johnson, a single dad with his daughter. Daryl, come on up. Daryl works for the city of Chesapeake. And Daryl, tell us about living here.
Whew. How everybody doing today? Whew. Well, first and foremost, I would like to thank the Woda Cooper companies for giving me a place I could call my home. Then I would like to thank Ms. Wanda for helping me keep my faith and letting me know that even though we made some bad choices while growing up, it's never too late for a new beginning. From staying house to house to a house fire, to sleeping in my car, Ms. Wanda made sure that I kept my faith. I'm a single man trying to provide for his family, and Ms. Wanda and the Woda Cooper companies gave me a chance to really call a place home, and I highly appreciate y'all for this. I'm not gonna keep y'all long, but this is it.
Thank you, Daryl. It's testimonies like Daryl and Linda that drive us to the next deal quickly, right, Bruce? In Portsmouth. So David Cooper and Jeff Woda started this company, Woda Cooper Companies, back 32 years ago. I showed up on their doorstep 20 years ago, and we opened up one state, Michigan, that hadn't been opened. Then they sent me into the Commonwealth and said, find us sites. And we're pleased that we have so many sites in the Commonwealth. We have one that just got permitted just recently, this last week in Richmond. And I'm going to have David come up. And while he's coming up, I got to tell you, it's great to work for owners who know the business better than anybody. David's an attorney, but he really understands spreadsheets. And that was the first time I ever met an attorney that knew anything about numbers except to bill me. So David really knows numbers, but I'm going to tell you, on our second attempt to get credits, going to VH back second time, we're short a few points. You got to have points to score, and you only win by a fraction of a point against all the other competitors. So we went, the development guy, tail between our legs. We said, David, we can't get enough points. He looked at the plan and he said, do this, do that, and the other. And we won by 1+ points. David knew. Come on up, David.
Thank you, Craig, and Bruce, thanks for all your efforts here today. First, I'd like to say welcome and thank you for being here on behalf of my partner, Jeff Woda, and my 700 colleagues at Woda Cooper Companies. It really does take a large group of people to make this sort of thing happen. And, you know, we have a lot of people in our company who are very dedicated. We call ourselves a mission-driven organization, and we feel like we live and breathe that every single day. I want to particularly recognize and thank Mayor Glover for being here, Congressman Scott, Senator Lucas. I really appreciate Ms. Neal from Virginia Housing. We definitely appreciate everything Virginia Housing does for us. And I do want to recognize Dr. Holley. Thank you for being here. You've heard several times about the large group of people it takes to get something like this done, and I'll also tell you it also requires trust. And people put trust in our company. We had the trust to sell us this piece of land, to provide us with the financing, give us the support politically that was necessary, and we take that trust seriously, and we try to live up to that every single day. It's very important to us. We don't, I think Michael Gort told me this morning, this might be our 27th transaction together. We don't do things on a one-off basis. We believe in reputation and relationship, and so that's critical to what we do, and we'd love to be back in Portsmouth and prove again that we can recreate this and do it all over again. A lot of people look at a day like today as the end of something, and it's really not. It's the beginning. If we were out at one of the Navy yards, we'd be crashing a bottle over the bow of a ship and we'd be saying, set sail. This is really the beginning of a community here, and it'll be important to us to come back in 5 years and 10 years and 20 years and make sure this community is still here and still exactly what it should be. And again, we take the trust seriously, not just to get the building done, but to operate it correctly, be an important part of the community, and deserve and be worthy of the confidence that's been placed in us today and into the future. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
We're almost at the end here. David, thank you so much for your leadership and your commitment to this project. We do appreciate it very much. This is Virginia. We've got 11 developments in the state of Virginia in less than 10 years. And that's because we're committed to do projects here. It's a state that Virginia Housing, VHDA before Virginia Housing, has been very amenable to provide those tax credits for us. And we want to do more, and we are going to do more. So thank you, Tammy, and we appreciate everything that you're doing at Virginia Housing. I've got one more announcement to make. Grand Furniture Company, is a representative from Grand here. Where is she? You stand? Priscilla, would you come up front just for a quick minute? Miss Penny is one of the senior staff persons at Grand Furniture Company. So Wanda Ferguson, as you well know, is always out marketing, trying to get our residents amenities. Grand Furniture has partnered with us, and they're going to give each one of our residents, the last time I talked to them, it was a $200
It's $125, and then we're offering different. I'll tell them what it is, Bruce.
Okay, very quickly.
Okay, great.
So,
thank you, Bruce. I've known Bruce for almost 20 years, and he surrounds himself by some wonderful women of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. All right. My name is Priscilla Boris Penny. I've been with Grand Furniture for 17 years, and that's my colleague there, Chantel. She's in marketing. We're here on behalf of the Stein family, Craig and Matt Stein. They could not be here today. They're on travel. Grand has been committed to offering financing to everyone in the Hampton Roads area. That's why we want to be a part of this community as well. We offer this to people who are looking to move in their first homes like this, people that are graduating from high school, college, building a new home, and things like that. They have been committed for years to do this in the community because of the founders, Rose Stein and her husband. So Craig and Matt have just taken it to another level. We have become involved in the community, working with other organizations. We do bedding for the low-income housing. We've helped with breast cancer awareness. We have done back-to-school projects like we did last year for school supplies of over 100 kids in the Hampton Roads area. We are committed to stay focused on doing the community. We have 5 stores in the area, in the Hampton Roads area, and 1 outlet store. They are committed to bring furnishings to your home at an affordable price. So if you're trying to buy your first home and you have very little credit, come to Grand Furniture. We will finance you. Everybody gets approved. We will stay forward, fast forward, and building the community, and come to us and we will take care of you. Bruce, thank you for having us. And we appreciate all that the community and Hampton Roads has done with Grand Furniture. Thank you very much. We will stay focused on that idea. Thank you, Bruce.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
You guys know I'm going to negotiate that $125 up. So tell Mr. Stein that's not the final number. Last but not least, Mayor, I would like to introduce to you Dr. James Holley IV. Dr. Holley was one of the folks I came to when we were talking about having a name for this project. And, you know, he has an office, a block away? And several people would come by and tell him, said, "Are you building that building down the street there?" Well, I won't finish it. Because you have a second part of it. But you're talking about a father that you know his dad, Mayor Holley, is proud of him. He's passed the mantle to you. You're doing an outstanding job. And we just thank you. It's an honor for you to be here. So you have the podium.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much to all of the political leadership here in Virginia that helped make this happen. Obviously, Woda Cooper, the company, the vision, who this was here. A little bit of my story. I built the medical building a block away, and before I did, I was looking out at Harbor View because we had a little small 900 square foot building, and I didn't own enough land for parking, but my father's tenacity and his vision, you know, he says, well, you know, just hang. I'm gonna see if I can do something. And next thing you know, I had enough for 35 parking spaces. Nothing had really been developed, like they say, Effingham, you know, down in about 10 years. And we got a little bit of special dispensation to put that size building on that size lot. And I was very happy. That I made that choice and that decision. I was driving to work one day and I saw dirt being moved on this vacant lot that has been vacant since I was in high school. And so I had to circle around and come here, and I said, what's going on? What's going on here? And the guy described the project to me. And I said, really, that's amazing. I was very excited about it and everything. And he seemed kind of startled because he was the only one here, and I kind of walked up on him, but I had a scrub on that said Dr. Jim Holley, so, you know. And he said, oh, Holley. He said, this place is going to be named Holley Pointe. And I couldn't believe it. And so the backstory to that is that was the name, the official name that my parents gave their home out there on the point, Louise. Yeah, Holley Pointe. Matches, glasses, dishes, T-shirts. And I'm still trying to dig some of that up for you. But it's just serendipity all around. 622, my father's birthplace, 622 North Street. Bruce, we're going to talk about the 2 people who are the first tenants here. I want you to give them my information, and I'm going to take care of their families. Wow. I'm going to take care of their families. Yeah, absolutely. And you're right, Bruce. It's not a day that goes by that someone doesn't call or stop by my office and say, can you help me get an apartment over there? Aren't you building that building? Some family members like, oh, I thought you were struggling. So anyway, that's a little byproduct of this wonderful project here. But I want to thank you and your team and all of, like I said, the political leadership here. Louise, you know, with your projects here, you've been an inspiration to me to get that building done. It was the last building my father cut a ribbon on, except the one he's getting ready to cut right here. So thank you so much to everybody. Oh, and almost forgot. This is
David, come over.
okay. Yeah, this is the last mayoral portrait that hangs in City Hall of my father when he was mayor, and I was able to get that and put it in this special frame and offer it to you all as a gift here. But I forgot to say that even though the gentleman building this thing told me it was Holley Pointe, when I don't know how we got connected. I think you called me and you asked me, and I've been thanked by so many people here. Our family is humbly appreciative of you guys naming this building after our father, who everybody knows nobody loved Portsmouth more. What a fitting tribute. What a fitting tribute. And so for you, Bruce.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right. You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
We will hang this in the foyer, and everyone will know. Mr. Portsmouth, Mayor James Holley.
Very good.
Thanks again. We really
All right.
appreciate
No
being here.
worries.
Okay,
No
we
worries. Thank
got
you.
a couple more things. We're going to do the ribbon cutting out front. So everybody's special, but the dignitaries need to be up front for the ribbon cutting.